The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
6:07 Talk Radio 790 KABC time on a Tuesday morning, the 14th day of May. This is McIntyre in the Morning with Terry Ray Elmer. Now, this story, there is a whole bunch of stories. It's second termitis has hit hard, has hit President Obama's administration hard, because the Benghazi story, despite opinion polls from the Pew people aside via the LA Times, is not going away. And neither is this IRS story. This IRS story is very serious. The IRS acknowledging that at least the Cincinnati office, and who knows where it will go, has led to extra scrutiny of conservative organizations. And that's where we're going to start. Now we have another story that's brewing out there, that the Justice Department swept up a whole bunch of phone records from reporters from the Associated Press. Joining us right now, analyst with ABC News. It's a pleasure to welcome to the show again, Trey Hardin. Trey, how are you?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm okay. Now, we're doing better than the president's having a tough week. This could be a case of just lots of smoke, but we suspect that there's plenty of fire underneath all that smoke. And we'll start, Trey, if we can. Let's start with the IRS thing. This goes back, if you're of a certain age, to Nixonian behavior. And that is, of course, the concern. The president said everything right yesterday with the proper amount of indignation.
If, in fact, IRS personnel engaged in intentionally targeting conservative groups, then that's outrageous. And they have to be held fully accountable.
Well, you know, that's all the right stuff to say, as long as they don't trace anything back to political operatives under his control.
Well, that's exactly right. I mean, the president has to go do more than what he just did yesterday. Yes, he said the right thing, but now he has to do something. And I think that's something that has concerned people with a number of these scandals, is that he won't get out in front of them and actually take aggressive action. And I think there are people questioning that because they're worried that if he does take action, or he's worried that if he takes action and fires people, that they're going to go out there and maybe expose some of the realities. I will tell you this on the IRS front. I've worked in this town for over 20 years. I worked in a White House and on Capitol Hill, and I can say with a very strong sense of certainty that there are people very close to this president that not only knew what the IRS were doing, but authorized it. It simply just does not happen at an agency level like that, an initiative like that, without political advisors, likely in the West Wing, certainly connected to the president's ongoing campaign organization, that didn't know about it.
Well, that's a blockbuster. I mean, that's really quite a statement, Trey. And we are talking with Trey Hardin, ABC political analyst, because obviously, I mean, to me, that's an impeachable offense. I mean, we hate going to the I word so fast, but using the if somebody in the White House, let's put it this way, if it turns out, and this story is many years in the making, this goes back at least 3 years now, and we have the additional story of the National Organization for Marriage, which is, I think it's fair to call it an anti-gay marriage organization. Apparently, Mitt Romney made a personal contribution of $10,000 to this organization, and it became public fodder. And they're claiming, look, the only way that could have gotten out is if the IRS, somebody in the IRS, released it. I'm not sure that that's true. I mean, Mitt Romney may have declared it on his taxes. I don't know. But the point is that if the IRS becomes a cudgel for partisan purposes, this cuts to the core of the country.
It absolutely does, and I want to be clear. I'm not saying that this goes to the president, at least not yet. But I am saying that we are going to find out that this goes to people very close to him, around him, that knew it. A lot of times, staff or advisors will insulate their boss, the elected official or a political candidate, so that person has deniability. But I think we're going to learn a lot more about this. This is there are people that work in the West Wing who their jobs is to monitor the political landscape and look for political edge. This is something that I am very convinced was not only known about but likely authorized by people that work in government.
All right, Trey Hardin, ABC News. Thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.